Welcome back, folks. You are still tuned into Breakfast Central on this beautiful Monday morning. And we all know the buzz around town, beyond town. Let's make it the buzz on the African continent right now. Is the sequel of Living in Bondage. And as we mentioned earlier, I did allude to the fact that we were going to be joined by some very special guests. And we have the lead in the film, Swanky JK, and the producer, Steve Gukas. Good morning, guys.
Morning. How are you?
I'm very well, and yourselves? I don't even know where to begin. I think let's start from production.
Okay.
From production, this is 4 years in the making, and multiple location, not just around Nigeria. You went out to South Africa as well. Mm-hmm. Are you in a position to tell me what the budget of this film was? I'm putting you on the spot, right?
I'd rather not say. Yeah. But we did spend quite a bundle trying to make it happen. You saw the film, so I'm sure you can talk about the production values that you saw employed in the film. We also did travel quite a bit to make the film happen, and post-production was, done outside of the country as well. In terms of just the production values, where we wanted to take the story, and for us, we were very conscious of the fact that this was what started Nollywood. So whatever you were doing in the way of a sequel was almost like Nollywood coming 360, and you were almost putting yourself in the spot where you're saying, look, this is where Nollywood is now. Yeah. And I think, that drove every decision that we took regarding this film in terms of when the first Living in Bondage was done, they acted rich. They couldn't show the wealth. Right. In this Living in Bondage, Breaking Free, what we wanted to do was achieve everything they had in their heads on the first one, but just couldn't achieve because of budget and other technological constraints. So putting all of that together and making sure that we then, are creating the world of these characters in a way that allows the characters or the actors to be free to become the characters was very key. And
I love that you mentioned that, earlier we did have a presence on the red carpet, and one of the notable things that Kenneth Okonkwo said was the fact that in the first film there was a big burden on the actor. They had a storyline and they had to bring it to life. And to also add to that, one of my highlights of this film is the scripting. I mean, the use of words was powerful. But coming to you, Swanky, there's as much as it's an easier condition to work in that you're not having to ad-lib, you have a script, but I know you went through the audition process, but even after you got this role, you still now have, people like Steve, people like Ramsey saying, this is a definitive film for this industry and because of that, for the African continent at large. What kind of pressure did that put on you to deliver the world-class performance that you did as the lead in this film?
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you for, assessing the performance to be world-class. I'd like to say that I actually didn't have any pressure. Working with Ramsey was pressure itself because, he wants you to be him. He's a director who has been acting at the top of his game, so he would literally want you to say that line how he would say it, but Uncle Steve would make it easier for me because he would just come whisper in your ear and say, think about this, how would you portray it? Okay, good, go. So it made it easier, but Ramsey could be like, what's wrong with you? Just say the line. So it was, having the two of them made it, we took it like a scene at a time, a day at a time. I didn't want to, Ramsey wanted me to read or to go see the first Living in Bondage. I said, I don't want to see it because if I saw it, I'm good right from school days at imitating people, so I'll just end up being another Andy, So since I didn't grow up with him, my mannerisms should be very different from that. So I try to just see snippets and then, listen to word of mouth and try to imagine it and then let myself go.
And so having to tap into that, and of course it being Ramsey Noah's directorial debut as well, I'll come back to you, Steve. So many nuances around it, and as much as, shall I say, the terrain is a little bit easier, there's so many first-time experiences happening. How did you navigate that as a producer?
Well, for me, the whole thing was first, when they first approached me with the project, they had, I think, about 3 drafts of the script. And when I came on board, my core first focus was getting the story right. Because I knew that nothing was going to save us with this project if the story wasn't right. You know, so I went through working with the writer to get another 3-4 drafts, and then worked with CJ Obasi to get another draft, and then did an edit of the entire draft to get the story right first. And having done that, you're not sure of your blueprint. Everything else was going to come off of that. So Ramsey, being a first-time director, was easier, because if you stuck to what was on the script, then you know that at least in terms of what has to happen, you know, that's sorted. But Ramsey clearly has been learning in all of the years he's been acting. He's been keeping his eyes open, and he's had ways and things that he's wanted to do, you know. So his years as an actor has served him very well, you know, in working with actors and in how, you know, he works with the crew as well, because that you could see that experience coming to fore. And he has a very playful, nuanced thing to him, and he brought that to bear, you know, in the telling of the story as well. So I think that it does not show that this is his first
no, it doesn't.
You know, directorial job, but it doesn't show because he's taken a long time learning and preparing for this moment. So I think it just came right for him.
It certainly did. And like you said, it shows, and especially in how the entire cast came together. It was a beautiful ensemble. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but Swanky, people are watching. This will be, you know, premiering in the cinemas on the 8th of November. What should people expect? What should Nigeria expect? As I'm pretty sure people are going to be trooping to the cinemas. Just a few words.
Yeah. For filmmakers, for people who are more experienced like Mr. Steve, I've heard them say that the real feedback is from the audience.
Certainly.
You know, so the film the premiere we had in Lagos, when I was sent different clips from different places in the audience, I had someone shouting, "Thank you for making it real." That's what people should look forward to expecting. Something real.
Something real.
You know, a movie that doesn't take itself seriously. Just you and me.
I love that. Legendary Steve Gukas. I keep saying Swanky JK, a star who has always existed but has now finally come to the spotlight. Very much deserved. Well done, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having us.
All right. Okay. As you know, Living in Bondage will be on your cinema screens on the 8th of November. Don't miss it. It certainly is an iconic moment for Nollywood and for African cinema at large.